Hello, everyone. My name is Mazen Maguid. I'm the regional business developer of M2 Enterprise Construction Cloud Solution in SoftwareONE company in the Middle East. And today we are going to speak about the 6D digital sustainability. And in this session, we will explore a real 6D BIM approach that integrated end-to-end platforms help reducing waste of materials, equipment, human resources, and carbon emission. And this by optimizing planning and control of the projects and enhance the selection of green materials, vendors, business partners, and so on. Into three main parts. History of digitalization in construction industry, passing through BIM 6D concept, and how integrated platforms approach the sixth dimension. And I think that the best way to start this session is to clearly identify some terminologies that will put us on the same track and drive us to the needed results and conclusion from this session. Digital sustainability is two words. One belongs to digitalization that refers to enabling or improving processes by leveraging digital technologies and digitized data. And the second is the sustainability, and the best definition of sustainability is the balance between the environment, equity, and economy. And both terminologies here undergo to the construction industry. So why we need to inject digital innovation in the construction industry? We are a mature industry, but we have been faced by many challenges in that has been with us for many decades. And one of these challenges is lagging productivity growth. Our contribution in the last 2 decades did not overcome more than 2.5% compared to other industries like logistics, manufacturing, and others. In addition to that, as you know, we operate in a very risky environment, yet we are getting very low returns as a consequence of this. And we are not in the position to enhance those margins because we are not managing changes effectively. We are not managing different resources types to get to more efficient type of constructions. And we are managing unstructured data. The consequences of these things, we as an industry actually have a low client satisfaction rating. The reason is, as you can see in the statistics, that we often go over budget in all of the time, so that our client does not get their assets they require on time with the budget they planned for, so that from our side, we need to do more to grow our efficiency. And of course, construction projects are incredibly complex ventures. There is so many stakeholders involved in the project, from the clients, consultant, engineers, quantity surveyors, estimators, main contractors, subcontractors, the whole supply chain that leads to this. As a consequence, there is a huge amount of moving parts in the construction projects. And we don't necessarily have the tools to deal with this. In fact, we as an industry have a tool set mind, which means to say that the different people, the different roles in an organization have a specific tool for a specific job. For example, an estimating tool that is not connected to planning, that is not connected to document management. And as a consequence, you get this data silos across the organization and across the value chain. And that leads to a lack of collaboration, and collaboration is one of the best ways to increase productivity in an organization and in the industry at all. And this is all born from the fact that construction industry is one of the least digitized industry in the world. And this is because much of the data that we use is unstructured. We continue to use tools instead of platforms. We don't use integrated solutions. As a consequence, a huge amount of time is wasted by construction workers. And this will lead us to the first conclusion, why you use the first terminology, digital, because digitalization is the key step towards sustainability. Integrated platforms will make us deal with the data in most productive, collaborative way, connecting all stakeholders, processes, and data in one integrated platform in the construction phase is the first step towards sustainability in the construction. Reducing time will help in reducing usage of infrastructure, materials, and resources, and help it to sustain for a longer time. And if you are coming into this call, here's a quick refresher on BIM itself actually is. So building information modeling is a verb, and it refers to the process of creating information models or data sets about a built asset, formed of graphical and non-graphical information in a shared digital space known as a common data environment. As you create information model, you can add scheduling data to different components, generating accurate program data for your project, and this is known as 4D BIM. You can link cost data to different components in the information model to generate estimates, and this process is called 5D BIM. Taking it one step further and adding information on the expected lifespan carbon emission components to support facility management is what we call 6D BIM. So this is how we believe we can help here. So on the left-hand side, you can see some of the carbon problems that we face in the industry. Concrete alone contributes 6 to 10% of the global carbon emission. And we as an industry waste quite close to 10% of material we use on site. As much as 30% of the activities in the industry result as a task that has to be redone. So we believe using integrated 6D platform by simulating activities before we go on site, simulating the carbon footprints of our construction projects will lead to less concrete, less rework, less waste of energy. And across the plan, build, operate phases of the construction process, we reduce carbon by engaging our interior supplier to reduce the carbons that is embedded in the materials, and selecting suppliers with low carbon footprints. We can choose better logistics process by lowering the amount transportations that goes in bringing the materials to the projects. We can work with contractors who are willing to minimize wastes and lowering carbon footprints. And this process can happen in 3 main steps, which is quantifying carbon footprint, optimizing carbon footprint, and monitoring carbon footprint. So how we do this, starting by quantifying the carbon, we use a cost calculation technology that has the ability to create bill of quantities and estimates based on different line items and resources, and connect them to our line items, and more important, connect them to different elements in our models, especially the carbon elements calculations. So at least you will know how much you are using or about to use from the carbon in your project. We've been able to qualify our material suppliers to minimize the in-body carbon through a business partner management capability based on different matrices like B, ESG compliance, for example, or percentage of energy usage, or distance from the site. And during these evaluation process, you will be able to select the best vendor for your projects. We then bring this all together in one in our simulation, where we can optimize the carbon footprint of our projects. We do this by simulating different alternatives and comparing different alternatives. For example, we use this supplier for this carbon footprint with this price, and that will be the impact on our total cost and also our budget. And then, of course, once you move on to the construction site, the ability to monitor your carbon footprint, just like you monitor actual cost versus budget cost, you are monitoring your actual carbon footprint to what you have allocated to your project. And it is really important to be able to control carbon elements as you do with cost and time elements. And so ultimately, through, as a conclusion, a proactive approach of quantify, optimize, and monitoring your carbon footprint on projects across the plan, build, operate phases of the construction projects, we as an industry can contribute significantly to reduce the amount of carbon, and not really in our projects only, but indirectly through the way the assets will be used after on the construction. Well, thank you. I hope that this was productive and beneficial for everyone.